So,
Happy World Meteorological Day.
what is that?
Apparently the 23rd of March is World Meteorological Day.
And what does that celebrate?
Meteorology? I don't know. So the reason why I bring this up is because the other day somebody at work brought out a little known fact that it was Steak and Blowjob Day. And it was apparently a national day.
That's not a thing.
Apparently it was a national sort of thing. And I thought somebody was bullshitting it, but then it was on the radio as well. So it also turns out, though, that...
on the radio.
Yeah, they can. I didn't say blowjob, I said BJ. But anyway, right? It got me thinking, well, hang on a minute. I'm sure I already heard that today was National No Smoking Day, which turned out was. It was also National Pie Day as well. And I don't mean the ones you eat, like the one that you embarrass yourself over the number.
Oh, right. 3.141592654.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And I was saying, what the hell is the point of these things? Why? Who take what irked me, right? No Smoking Day, right? Being a smoker and stuff, right? It must have been like a non-smoker that made that up. But why? Why would you even bother with a day like that?
Why would you bother with a day to celebrate a mathematical number? Exactly.
And so I started digging around to see some more interesting ones.
Oh, no.
And so, like, today's...
You found something more interesting than steak and BJ?
Not necessarily. Tomorrow is National Chocolate-Covered Raisin Day.
That's not real. You've made that up.
No, it's not. It's true. Go look it up. 24th of March.
Are you getting this off of Wikipedia?
No, just off of internets.
That's probably bullshit.
Apparently, the 30th of August is National Frankenstein Day.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a fictional character.
Apparently it's because Mary Shelley was born on 30th of August.
Okay, so have a Mary Shelley Day, then, if you want to celebrate something she wrote. You don't have something for the Doctor in it.
It's just like, I don't understand. Like, you get national, like, holidays and stuff.
Yeah, like Family Day that we spoke about last time in Canada.
But this is just like every day of the year has got multiple somethings against it.
Talk Like a Pirate Day.
That's what I want. We should make that.
No, that is a thing. There is a National Talk Like a Pirate Day. I don't remember what the day is, but there is one.
Oh, I so want to find out when that is.
And then all the real pirates go around thinking everyone's taking the piss. Yeah, there's
the real pirates.
The real pirates. So tomorrow, when did you say Chocolate Coated Raisin Day is?
Tomorrow. September 19th is International Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Ah, I see. Did you just get that handed to you?
Yes.
I thought so.
So, there you go.
Any last minute stupid ones that you found?
Nothing else just to hand.
I know it's vulgar to talk about, but why steak and BJ?
It's a good combination. I don't know whether or not like one person gets the steak and the other person gets the BJ, or
is the steak a euphemism in the This is a gaming podcast. We should probably stop talking about this.
International Day of Persons with Disabilities, 3rd of December.
That's a real thing too.
Yep.
But
does that mean that we all like pretend to be disabled, or?
I thought you weren't allowed to say disabled or handicapped anymore. I thought that was a taboo. Someone got lambusted for saying that on the American Apprentice is airing right now.
It's a bubble wrap appreciation day.
Now that is something I can put my support behind. Hello and welcome to the 23rd Brain Go Hurty gaming podcast. I'm Flick and I can never think of anything to say during these intros, so I'll just let the other one talk now.
I'm surprised you remembered the number. So, yeah, number 23.
I wrote it down.
Cheating.
I did. I cheated.
So yeah, despite the intro, if you're a new listener, you may not know this is actually supposed to be a gaming podcast.
It is, and everything went very smoothly with our changeover to our new.
Yes, it did. Surprisingly, everybody managed to be coerced into doing my bidding.
What you mean, like iTunes and
more than
Contact Podbean?
More than one source had to be dealt with. But
yeah, but they won't find those bodies for years.
No, exactly.
And by then, they'll be fine.
There's plenty of lye on them, so they'll decompose nicely. Anyway, so...
Yes. So, are we going to move straight on to our first topic? You'll see sure. I called it topic this time rather than whatever I usually call it, call of business. I'm going to make a game called that and then get into a legal dispute with Activision. It'll just be a business sim.
Why would I do that? I could just go to work.
Well, yeah, but then you won't have to kill yourself if you lose millions.
Right. Cool, hanging by my tie, off a... I don't actually wear a tie. I'm against ties.
I hate ties as well. I never wear them.
I'm against them. I don't even tuck my shirt in.
I prefer not doing that, but if I was in an office, I would.
Why?
Because otherwise you would look scruffy in comparison to your compatriots.
Compatriots? What the fuck? We're not at war.
You know why I used that? It's because I used it when we were recording something we'll talk about in a second earlier. So I quite like the word, so I've decided to use it more often.
Fit it into at least one sentence every day.
The only reason I used it earlier was because you were playing as a Russian character. So I'm not sure if that's offensive or not, but...
We'll get onto that in a minute. So normally we start off with what we've been playing over the last fortnight.
Yes.
Stuff and ting. So what have you been playing over the last fortnight?
In no particular order, I've been playing Alan Wake on the PC, which I was to review, although I've still to do the review because that went on the back burner because of something else I had to play. But I've played it through, and both the free DLCs that the PC version gets... I think you asked last time, is it on Steam? It's actually a Steam-based game.
Oh, right, okay.
You need Steam, basically. It's one of those things.
But that's fine, because it means for people that still haven't bought the fucking game, it'll eventually turn up in a Steam sale and they can buy it.
Exactly.
And appease me.
There is a danger when you haven't played a game for... How many years has it been since it came out? Is it only 1 or 2 now?
No, I think Alan Wake was out around the same time as Heavy Rain, was it not?
Yes, it was, yeah.
So that was 2010, I think.
Yeah, so 2 years now. And there is a danger that it's not as good as you remember it, and...
Yeah, rose-tinted specs.
Rose-tinted specs. But I thoroughly enjoyed playing it through again.
I do intend to pick it up and play it again when when things have calmed down with all the other billions of games that are on the go. So. Exactly,
but any game that can still be as good as, not even a second time around, like third or fourth time around... I just really enjoyed it. Excellent. And it made American Nightmare seem all the worse in comparison, actually. Yeah. Because it was just so much better, the type of horror it was. And the pacing and the writing. It's just...
So what you're saying is, Alan Wake, still a good game. Doesn't matter what format you get it on. Just get it.
It plays fine on the PC, absolutely fine. It looks a bit better. The graphics are a bit crisper. The controls are fine on the PC. And you get the DLC for free.
Yeah, exactly. Win-win. So, yeah.
And the PC version comes with extras, the soundtrack and stickers. I have stickers.
Stickers of what?
Taken, Alan, that kind of thing.
People don't make stickers anymore, really, do they? Well, obviously they do.
Obviously they do, because I have some here, but you don't see them that much. I do, on the inside of my clothes cupboard, I have... stickers that I've been collecting my whole life. So there's like football stickers from the early 90s, Power Ranger ones, Sonic ones. Just anytime I got stickers in a magazine or a comic, I stuck them inside my clothes cupboard. So when you open up the doors, both of them are lined with them. Your silence is deafening.
It's just...
Is that weird?
Yeah, you're talking about the inside of your clothes cupboard. I mean, you haven't mentioned the small child that's tied up in the corner.
I think you've confused me with someone else.
So what else have you been playing?
Moving swiftly on, I have been playing... I haven't been playing Kid Icarus because annoyingly it didn't arrive today even though it's out.
And this is the thing that you need to have the circle pad because you're left-handed.
Yes, apparently because of the controls are really weird. It actually comes with a stand because you kind of need a stand to play it.
That doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to be played on a handheld.
Exactly.
If you need a stand, then you might as well get it on a console.
And if you have it in 3D, the way it plays, you wouldn't be able to appreciate it, because you use the analog stick to move, you use the left bumper to fire, and you use your stylus to aim. So you can imagine if you're holding like the analog stick and the left bumper in your left hand, that's why you have to use your right hand to use the stylus.
Yeah.
Handed person, that isn't natural. It would feel off because we're used to using our left one. And there's no setup to do that because there's no analog stick on the right. So that's why they're saying you need the add-on.
It feels like this game, it's almost like they've just rammed all the various functions and features of the 3DS that they possibly could in without actually trying to make it a decent gaming experience. They've just gone, the 3DS can do this, and this. So we'll do all of that, and then when someone goes down to actually try and play it, that doesn't really work. Well, we don't care. It does this, and this.
There is alternative control schemes, so I'm obviously going to have to see what they're like, because I won't be able to I can't use a stylus in my right hand. I just can't hold it properly. Don't laugh like it's weird, because you wouldn't be able to hold it in your left one.
Maybe.
You can, because you're not used to how you would hold a pen. That's
right, okay.
Comes down to
that's the logic.
It would fall out. So I think, as far as playing things, the only other thing is Raccoon City. And I got that last week because I've been playing it for review, and we've also just started earlier tonight our co-op playthrough.
Yeah, we just picked it up just now.
Yeah, like just before we started this, in fact. And I did a review. I enjoyed the game, and I seem to be the only one that's reviewed it anyway, because it's been getting as low as 2 out of 10.
So your full review is up on Critical Gamer for anyone who wants the full scoop from...
If anyone wants that, or to accuse me of being bought by Capcom, I mean... I opened the front door this morning and there was a big pile of honey there. I don't know what that means.
just to, like, on that point, one of the first response to the review on Gamer was from a guy that said, an 8, you guys have totally lost it. Did Cappy, I imagine he means Capcom, pay you for some points? As this is the bit that just there's a reason why I have to bring this up, and it's not
you're going to get very angry in a second.
It's not because somebody's like disagreeing with you, because I've like now played the game, so I've actually got an opinion. Right at this point, he couldn't have played the game, so he can't really have an opinion.
Yeah,
but this isn't about the game itself. This is about reviewing as a whole.
Yeah,
he says as a review, you have to keep your points in the base of a public opinion, not whether you like it or not. Just tell what's wrong or what's good. Don't give it a standard treatment or some unrealistic score. This game is terrible, full of glitches and frame rate issues. So, what would Resident Evil 5 score in your opinion? That must be, oh, I get it. It gets an 8 on a scale of 100. Oh, now I get it. Sorry about the words, man. Peace. I was just like, well, the thing that I always hone in on there is where he says, as a review, you have to keep your points in the base of a public opinion, not whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's not how things work. A review is an opinion.
You're supposed to say whether you like the game or not and give your reasons why, and that's the evidence for giving it an overall score. You shouldn't really need a score. It should just be like a...
No.
The score is the thing that, for someone to get kind of gist in case maybe they've got the wrong impression from your review, or to get an over... just to get a broad picture on what you're thinking.
But too often it is the only thing people
will look at that and they won't bother reading the rest, which is the stupid way of doing it. But the point is, it's supposed to be an opinion. It's supposed to be you're saying
it is
what's good and what's bad.
A justified one, and I do always try and say, oh, but if you don't like this or you like this, then you might enjoy it or dislike it more than I have, and I did in that review. I pointed out who wouldn't like it. Anyone who wants a Resident Evil game will not like it, because it isn't a Resident Evil game.
No.
So I can understand them not liking it, but I can't understand the low scores it's been getting, because it's not as glitchy as people are saying. There's no massive issues. It's just... Well, I found it fun.
From the short period of time that we've played, a couple of the campaign missions.
We've done 2 missions, so about an hour and a bit. We've played it so far together.
Played it for just over an hour.
Yeah, so
I like it. I like it. I would probably agree with you that it's about between a 7 and an 8 sort of thing.
Yeah, I would have done 7.5 had I been allowed to do a half mark. The reason I went up to 8 rather than 7 was I found myself replaying it so much.
Yeah.
Because I was enjoying it so much. So
I would say that if you like the Resident Evil franchise, and I don't mean like the way that they play, but the stories and environments,
the new ones and the old ones, doesn't play like either of them.
No, exactly. It doesn't. It plays closer to something like Gears of War.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
If you like Gears and if you like Resident Evil, it's a great game for you. And there must be loads of people out there that like both of these. So I don't know why it's been slated.
I think maybe part of the reason is because Capcom is just the thing to hate on right now.
You could be right, but
because of all the Tekken X Capcom, I said that the wrong way around, but it doesn't matter. All that crap. In fact, you know how we were talking about it last time that people would hack the disc to prove that the DLC was on there.
Yeah.
Remember that? No, Capcom, rather than realizing it's not a good idea to build a lie upon a lie upon a lie because it might all fall out from underneath you, went on record as saying, "Oh yes, there's some of the files on there, but you still need to download more that we were releasing as DLC to use them." Hackers read that and said, "Challenge accepted," and posted videos of them using the DLC characters online against other people before release. So the bears are just crying in the corner now, contemplating suicide.
They've got their honey, they don't care.
I know. Actually, it's a bit depressing because every time CR links me to an article about Capcom X Tekken, none of the comments on the website he goes to are like people being outraged. It's just people who can't wait for the characters. You've just read an article proving that they're on the fucking disc, and you're still looking forward to paying $20 for them. That is infuriating.
People are people.
I know. Maybe it's because they don't want bears to go extinct.
I mean, this goes back to like people that were paying like hundreds of dollars for like stolen copies of things like Call of Duty the day before like it was due for release, and you think
just to play it early.
For one day, you would spend all that extra money, but that's what people are like.
Absolutely. So you've only played it for just over an hour so far, a couple of missions, but
I like it.
Good impression so far.
So far, I mean, I'm quite interested to see how the multiplayer works. I'm not too sure. Like the only reason I wouldn't rate it higher, I mean, after now, you can't really justify like.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more next podcast.
Yes,
after you've done the whole thing.
The only issue I have with it at the moment is
too dark.
No, I don't think the darkness is much of an issue. I like it. I think it works quite well.
You've taken to going all Sam Fisher and shooting out the lights. As you'll see the videos.
I'm actually making the environment even darker.
Zombies won't see me.
I'm invisible. No, I don't have a problem with the darkness. I don't think that they've quite got the sort of the hitbox detection and the damage on the weapons quite right. On zombies, it all works perfectly fine, but it's on like on human characters. Yeah. It seems to be a bit improportionate and stuff. That's the only thing that.
Yeah, weapons.
Like at times it feels like you're playing and it's all working perfectly fine, and then sometimes like stuff you're shooting at, it feels like you're playing like Gears of War on like insane mode, where things just soaking up clips. Yeah,
but weapons are scattered all over the joint.
Yeah,
so if you can't find an ammo box, there's plenty of weapons to pick up.
Exactly.
It's just if you like sticking with one in particular, that might be
problematic.
Yeah. And a complaint I made in the review about it was it did feel a bit at times like the campaign was only half there, and like the DLC that's coming kind of emphasizes that that's true. But the first DLC is free.
But we've already the understanding is already there from my point of view anyway, is that the game is going to be more geared towards the multiplayer element.
I would say so, yeah. I mean, it's not like that's another thing. I bet most reviewers played it by themselves because there wasn't that many people playing it prior to release. And you're supposed to play it co-op.
Yeah.
It's like Left 4 Dead in that regard. It's not meant to be played with the AI because the AI is thick as pig shit.
Yeah, if you play Left 4 Dead on your own, then you're not going to have as good an experience, that's for sure.
Exactly. So I think really that's the only two major things I've been playing. I haven't been doing any more Naruto really. I've kind of been letting that just drift away now that it's out in America.
Yeah, the videos are already up.
Yeah, the videos are already plenty of videos. I did at least 20 this time, probably more. I have got. Remember last time I picked a choice comment that one of them got. I've done it again.
Choice comments from your YouTube channel.
It was a close run thing. I almost went with one that threatened to rape my wife because I didn't do the request.
I take it wasn't sent in via the email then, because the only one that came in via email, I'm the one that screens them all anyway.
Oh yeah, you got a request in that, didn't you? Yeah.
And it went through, and you processed the only one that was on there that you hadn't already done. So, because the guy asked for about 6 of them, and you'd already done 5 of them.
Yes, because no one checks the playlist; they just check a video and then spam it.
Demand.
So anyway, yeah, a tiny quick backstory to this. Have you heard the expression "adding fuel to the fire"? Or paraphrasing slightly, have you heard that expression?
Yes.
It's an example of me doing that a little bit.
What have you done?
Well, imagine that I've got one Naruto video in particular that's got many, many views for various reasons. And imagine it was like a pub, and inside that pub people are just arguing over nothing that matters. And imagine I'm walking past it and I overhear someone say, Naruto's powerless, he never wins a fight, he always has to rely on the Kyuubi to win his battles for him. I poke my head in the door and say, how's that any different to using a Sharingan to win a fight? And then I slammed the door and ran. And all that did was just trigger a whole massive argument among people about trump cards and what counts as power and not power. So that triggered this particular comment that I've taken down.
I can't imagine that particular thread is too far away from, was it Goodwin's Law?
Oh, I would assume it's already been used many times. It's got thousands of comments on it. So anyway, right. This is part way through this person arguing with someone other than me, because as I say, I only did the one and then left. So I stirred things up and ran. So
the great thing is, right? I might need to edit this out, but
I know what you're going to say, and yes, I did do it on that for that reason.
Stirring that up was forcing people back into going into that video, which forces them to trigger the. Yeah.
Leave that in and just end it there. So this person answering someone else. Okay, I turned off caps lock. Since you are in your feelings about it and stay out of big boy's business laughing my ass off, wow, big talk, and all I'm saying is that Naruto and Sasuke are equals. Neither of them is stronger than the other. Pretty much Naruto and Sasuke are the strongest ninjas in this war. I just hate when people say that Naruto has not won any of his fights without Kuruma because he has, plus it's retarded to say that, like asking Goku not to use his Saiyan powers motherfucking ads.
I love the last part of that is brilliant.
So, for example,
I bet you get so much satisfaction out of that, because it doesn't seem to be preventing people from. Never mind.
See that, like the last podcast, that is an example of someone who's making a good point but making it in a piss poor way, because he's right, and that was the point I was making. Like, there's no different between the two of them character-wise. To get briefly in on the argument there. But yeah, there you go. So I think we should very, very swiftly move on to what you've been playing. So go.
I've probably got quite an interesting eclectic mix of things that I've been playing lately, because after a few months of abandoning it, I've gone back to Skyrim.
Oh, you've reminded me that I tried that briefly, but I'd prefer you to talk about it anyway.
Yeah, so I'm still playing completely vanilla. I know that all the mods and all these things are out, but I want to just stick to vanilla for now. I might go and mod it a bit later on for even things like the UI enhancements that people have made. I've still ignored that. I'm just going with the vanilla, just
pure vanilla. Yeah.
So I've been. The weird thing is that the first time I played through, and one of the reasons why things got problematic was that I was trying to record pretty much all the interesting stuff, but it meant that because I was getting backlogged up with bits and pieces and too busy doing this and that, I wasn't really recording anything. So even though I wanted to play the game, I couldn't do anything interesting even for me. So I was literally just exploring all the dungeons. And
I think you might have sapped a bit of your own enjoyment when you did that, unfortunately.
Well, the thing is that now that I've gone back in and I might be repeating stuff I've already done before. Some of the dungeons I'm going into are the ones I've gone into before, but they now have context. They're now part of a story arc for a particular quest line, or there's different enemies in there, or rooms that have now opened up that I couldn't get into before, and things that kind of make a bit more sense now, rather than just wandering in and going, oh, this one's got vampires in, what's that all about?
Exactly, yeah. So it's better like that.
It's made the game like even higher in my opinion than it already was, because it just feels like there's so much more depth to it, and I'm actually really enjoying some of the quest lines that I'm doing. I'm still actually just in Whiterun, just in the sort of general starting area thing.
Oh dear, I'll quickly branch.
Yeah. I'm sort of going like here, there, and everywhere for quests for Whiterun, but I'm quite enjoying it. I'm quite enjoying picking it up and playing that.
You didn't mention the thing that spurred you to go back to it.
The patch they brought out, which basically, we'll not beat around the bush. They kind of ripped off Fallout's.
They made, so it's fine. Because Fallout uses a lot of animations from Oblivion, so.
Well, that's okay then.
Fair play. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they added in the sort of kill animation thing. Sometimes it randomly does a kill cam, and they've added them for a whole manner of other things and some new ones. And
yeah, it's not just prior; it was just for hand to hand, close combat. Now it's for magic and ranged as well.
Yeah, but they've definitely added some ones that I'm pretty sure I never saw in it before.
Yeah,
as well, which are quite interesting.
Do you like them? Some people don't.
Yeah, I quite like them, but sometimes it feels like they trigger quite a lot, and sometimes it feels like they don't trigger at all. No, I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with them either. I quite like the addition.
It's
and I'm not playing vanilla, so that's why I'm running around looking like Ezio and using a lightsaber. But fuck the lore, as they say.
Oh dear. So yeah, I've been playing that, and what makes things kind of difficult at the moment is that with all the hubbub of Mass Effect 3 and stuff, I got Mass Effect 2 for Christmas and finally got around
played it.
Finally got around to starting that up. So I'm about maybe halfway through, maybe something like that.
Is that? Oh, I thought you'd be further than that.
I'm not sure. It's because this is the thing, because I've been mixing it up with Skyrim.
The
weird thing is I was playing nothing but Mass Effect. I mean, I played it for 12 hours straight last weekend. something stupid like that. But now it's
you're enjoying it then.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely enjoying Mass Effect 2. This is old news. We're talking about the previous game in this series, but no, I'm quite enjoying it. But there's just one little bugbear that, and it's not really made apparent through playing it. It's just something that one of those epiphanies. I was sitting on the toilet and just had that thought, and it's you've got all these new races and stuff that have appeared, and they've just sort of popped down into existence. They were never mentioned in Mass Effect 1.
You're specifically meaning the collectors, aren't you?
Well,
the Rangers.
Yeah, but for example, yeah, it just feels like they've just sort of crowbarred those into the game, and it's
they have. It was purely to make a middle story. That's the reason.
I think there was another species or two that I can't think of right now, but
that were only in that one.
That
weren't only introduced. The race that Thane is were only introduced in that one.
So, yeah, it doesn't feel like the universe was sort of fleshed out properly. It just feels like we'll just ram these in here. You've never seen these or heard of these before, but we've put these in here now because we need some more content, because
it's the middle child. It has to fill the void.
You've got to beef it up somehow to change things up. Change things up a bit, I suppose. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just me or it's.
No, but I mean, I can't really diss them for wanting to expand the races on offer, because it didn't make sense that there was only 4
in
Mass Effect 1, and times had changed, technology, etc. But introducing them rather than just saying this is an alien.
I am quite enjoying it, but I feel kind of gutted that I transferred my file over from the first one, and I've just basically gone with the bog standard, I was playing as a soldier sort of thing, and I kind of feel like I would really enjoy playing with a lot more of the powers and stuff than.
Well, you can always just use your teammates, can't you?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Oh, okay.
I hate teammates. I hate games like I don't like, what was it? One of those dungeon crawling ones. Oh, what was it called?
Dungeon Siege.
Dungeon Siege. I don't like having I like just being one person.
I don't want a party to manage. I want a Diablo-style single character to manage.
I prefer that.
Which is out on May 15th, by the way.
I know. And
I think we're probably going to go nuts on it, aren't we?
I definitely think we will be. That's going to be the next thing after
Raccoon City.
After Raccoon City, I reckon. So, other than that, something that I just want to crowbar in here. That's my new thing, crowbarring again. I am playing something else. I'm playing this sort of fad game that's on...
Oh, God, you're not going to say Angry Birds Space or whatever the hell it's called.
No. I've got a little bit more taste in that. I'm playing Draw Something.
Right.
Which, do you remember we used to play that game eons ago called Ice Sketch? Mm-hmm. It's like Pictionary online. It's the same thing, but it's like on
the phone.
Like phones and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
Basically it's just that. It's Pictionary. But it's like it's doing really, really well. It's making loads of money through advertising and people buying it and stuff, and it's good fun. That's it. That's all I want to say. It's just Draw Something. It's good laugh. Just
how easy do you find it drawing onto your phone, though?
Not very easy, but you can. There's I think because of this, all of these guides have sprung up on how to craft your own stylus. Because my phone would support it if I would just use the one for DS.
Or if you have a DS, why don't you just take the stylus?
Yeah. That would work as well, but yeah, it's quite good fun. It's quite a good laugh. Although, of note, I tried to draw. I think it was Buddha the other day, and it ended up looking looking like a snowman that someone had peed on.
Oh, dangerous! And they were about to be sniped because they had the red dot.
Exactly. No, I didn't do the red dot. No, I didn't. That might have made things a little bit more clear.
I would have got points.
You would have got points. So, yeah.
Can we move on to moaning about Mass Effect 3 more now, please?
Okay, so...
Pretty please.
On the subject of Mass Effect, we're now into the third incarnation, which has had... Over the last couple of weeks, it has just sort of snowballed from one thing to another, really, hasn't it?
I really wish we had recorded this podcast last weekend, because I would have been able to predict the future. Because I was ready to say that what BioWare will do is turn it into a marketing opportunity, and that's exactly what they've done.
So if you haven't already caught up on the news...
Yeah.
Basically, everybody didn't like the ending to Mass Effect 3.
84% of over 100,000 people who voted wanted a better ending, one that made sense.
So what are they going to do?
It's going to, the doctor who helped co-found BioWare. I'm glad that they mentioned in his open letter that he was a doctor, because it explained the condescending tone of it.
I like the way it's sort of I'm a doctor, and I can tell you this.
It was, I got so angry reading it. It was figuratively, he was just patting the community on the head going, there, I'll make it all better. I'm a doctor, It was so infuriating. But, as I say, it'll be paid for. The real ending will be paid for. I guarantee it. It won't be free. Unless they make
that would be a very cunning ploy, because then that a lot of people would end up paying for it.
Mm. Now, I don't think people want necessarily a super happy-go-lucky ending. I think it's just that they want one that makes more sense. And one of the main complaints they made about the choices that are in there is there's a lot of Deus Ex Machina. And do you know what that means?
I did once, many years ago. But...
Usually if people ask, I describe it as plot convenience. But literally it means God out of the machine. So it's... the definition is a plot device whereby a seemingly unsolvable problem is suddenly and abruptly solved.
Right. So it's like the bomb that we're not able to defuse because the only person that knows how to defuse it is dead. Doesn't go off on its own accord. It just doesn't blow up. A
good example of the TV show Heroes. It was pretty much Deus Ex Machina every episode. That's a perfect example of anyone who watched that, which got poked fault at, and it's a lazy plot mechanic, basically. But sometimes it's necessary, but you can do it in clever ways. And I was trying to think of a gaming example, and sadly I could only think of one about Star Wars. Sorry in advance. And it's episode 1 as well, which is terrible. But, in episode 1 when they crash on Tatooine and Qui-Gon's got to go get the parts to repair the ship.
Yeah.
Tatooine's a massive planet, and it's mostly markets. And yet, on his first try, he finds the merchant that claims to be the only person on the planet who has the part he needs. So that's
wait. Is it definitely made clear this is first try? Anyway, I digress.
It isn't specifically said, but it's implied because it goes straight from I'm going to town to walking into shop. You
wouldn't watch like 14 hours of him wandering around.
It's acceptable in the sense that the alternative would be you don't want to see 10, 15 minutes of him going, do you have this? No. Okay, do you have this? No. But you could do it in 10 seconds without a single word being spoken, and it wouldn't seem like Deus Ex Machina. You would just need a long shot of Qui-Gon talking to a merchant, make it look like he's listening, have the merchant point off screen, have Qui-Gon nod, and walk in that direction. It doesn't seem like an abrupt change. It flows, and you've learned something without any words being spoken. That's clever, which is why George Lucas didn't do it that way. He did it the lazy way. But that's an example of why people are annoyed at the Mass Effect 3 endings, because they just come out of nowhere. It's less about what the ending choices are and more about how they're suddenly sandwiched in.
So it's a case of like they've probably already decided how they want it to end, and then the story's written up until that point, and then they just go, how do we mix this together? And
it's not even a case of Casey Hudson and his team wanting to do a certain ending and to hell whether people like it or not, because he went on record as saying the reason he's done the ending or endings the way they are is because he wanted to polarize opinion and make it memorable. No one seems to
that's fucking sure. People aren't going to forget it being the first game that they decide, actually, you know what, we fucked up, the ending's wrong, we'll do it the way that you want it now.
It also seems like either he or one of his writing team were a fan of an anime called Gurren Lagann, because the twists in Mass Effect 3 and the endings actually mimic it exactly.
That's not so good.
To the point, there's actually a very funny video on YouTube where people have spliced together Mass Effect 3's bits from like the finale up to the ending with a voiceover from the anime with accurate subtitles. And all they've done is substitute a word in the anime for Reapers and one for Shepherd, and it fits perfectly. It's so embarrassing. But it's
surely it gets like sued for that, no?
Well, you cannot. It's plausible deniability. You know, technically, someone else also pointed out that each of the ending choices you do have are identical to the original Deus Ex game, but it's not like they can copyright the concept of an ending.
No, that's true. Yeah,
there's no proof that they've ripped it off. It's just possibly a massive coincidence.
So I take it from all of this that you won't be getting Mass Effect 3 then.
No.
I still might.
I imagine
that sounds shocking. But
I imagine that side quests are still good. I imagine it plays well still. I don't have anything against the gameplay at all.
That's one thing that I've picked up on from Mass Effect 2 is that there's definitely a big jump in the quality of the side quests.
And the gameplay. I quite like the changes they made from the first one to the second one.
I can't feel that much of a difference between them.
It's a bit more actiony.
It doesn't feel as clunky. I think that's the best way I could describe it.
Although, I don't know if you've noticed yet in Mass Effect 2 that returning characters who don't join up with you have overly convenient excuses for not coming with you.
Yes, definitely. And some of them, the excuses are just bullshit.
Yeah, and that's even worse in Mass Effect 3. Because, I mean, apparently, well, the setup is obvious. The Reapers go after humans first. That's the setup. That's what you see in the first 5 minutes of a demo. And so Shepard has to go make an army to take them on. But when he goes to returning characters, they'll go, well, yeah, the humans are getting wiped out, but we might be all right. And it's almost literally lame excuses like that. And that's lazy writing. And it's just, I think they knew Mass Effect 3 was going to sell well, so they cut corners where they could to increase profits.
It would have been easier to just kill the characters off.
If they'd done it dramatically and emotionally, that would have been a good ending.
Like... Am I allowed to do spoilers for Mass Effect 2 because it's old?
Yeah, I don't care.
Right, okay. Well, within like the first part of the game or whatever, with the ship exploding and stuff, they should have just killed all of the characters off, all the crew and stuff.
Oh, you mean all the returning characters?
Yeah.
But then they couldn't do the bullshit line that your choices will matter in the end, and they carry over from game to game, so you have to play them all, even though they don't. No choice making any game matters at all. And actually, there was an example given. I can't confirm or deny this because I haven't played it, but you know how it does the Renegade or Paragon quick button press choices. Apparently, in Mass Effect 3, there's the choice between doing the Renegade option, in other words, the bad option, or getting a game over screen.
What?
So how is that a choice?
That's exactly.
I don't know if that's true though. Maybe it's someone exaggerating, but it was from a news site, so maybe it's true.
Oh dear. So let's move away from the.
Wait. I'm just double checking. I don't have anything more to complain about.
Vent.
Okay.
I've decided that this would be an opportune moment to jump into the emails section of the podcast. Why not? Let's put it in here.
I'm amazed we have some.
Well, it's Noodles who's managed to send us 3.
Contrary to popular belief, we do not threaten him to do this, except when we do. So he sent 3?
He sent 3, yeah.
Were they sent at different days, or...?
No. I got them all...
The timestamps are just like 1 minute after the other.
Yes, they are actually. So, he says that we challenged him to send in at least 3 emails in the last podcast. So he's going to cheat and split them over 3.
Damn.
So, the first thing that he's pointed me to is this thing called iGenerator. That's what it's called.
Okay.
And it basically generates a random IGN headline. So basically,
I've heard sipping from juice there. I do apologise.
I fire it into this thing. Right?
Hang on, show me. I want to see.
Well, I can't. I don't have it on there. I'm using it on my phone because I couldn't get the link to work. So basically, you fire it in, and it produces like a fake storyline that's believable for IGN, right?
A fake storyline? You mean a fake review?
No, well, a fake headline from IGN.
Oh, okay.
So, let's have a look. What Angry Birds could learn from Angry Birds? What? I'll pick a better one, because he wants us to discuss it.
Okay.
How junk food could increase Castlevania's popularity.
This, actually, it sounds more like the kind of shit they put on Kotaku, to be honest. In fact,
Kotaku's definitely going...
Read out a couple of more made-up ones while I quickly go to Kotaku and find a real one.
Right, okay. That's a better idea. Top 10 boldest dancing sequences in video games. Should Dead Space be DLC?
So it's kind of open questions, basically.
Top 10 most interesting shopping carts in video games. I don't even think I could name 10. The only one that ever really springs to mind is the one from Dead Rising. You know, the shopping trolley?
Oh yeah.
Get it, move it around and stuff. That's the only one I can think of. I can't think of any other shopping carts. There must be.
I'm trying to find a real example, and annoyingly, this seems to be the one day where there isn't. Oh wait, no, there we are. Report, why aren't young Japanese dudes into booze, porn, and video games?
That's a real article.
That is a real article. I use the term article loosely.
I much prefer this one, right?
The best looking characters walk the streets of Japan. I don't even know how that's connected to games.
This is a better idea. What Metal Gear could learn from Monkey Island?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's brilliant. that is brilliant. What could Metal Gear learn from Monkey Island? A bit of humour? Better humour? We could... Oh,
sorry, I got distracted by a really good, real thing. Want to make a Mario piranha pipe? Like to sit on? As an article.
Oh, let's get off this subject.
That's enjoyable.
It's just horrible. So we can't successfully do that, but it's a very interesting generator thing that Noodles has linked to us. It goes to show you that these are just the sort of things that do sprout out in real posts you've put from Kotaku there.
Yeah, so, they are terrible sometimes.
His second email is, we've basically covered this to death just now about BioWare changing the ending for Mass Effect 3.
Did we specifically say they are now definitely changing it? Because I think that is pretty much confirmed now.
I haven't really fully looked into that.
Right, well, they have. That was kind of what the Doctor was making his open letter about.
Well, Noodles is going to say that BioWare's gone from defending the ending to folding and saying that they'd make a new one. And it's prompted Biodrones to spring to the defense of the developer, praising a brave move. Quite obviously, it's just pandering to the masses. Don't think I've ever heard of...
Right. The masses are right in this instance.
Yeah, but they shouldn't need to change it. They should have got it right in the first place.
Well, yeah, that's very true.
Or left it as is. Integrity. Because the thing is, Now it's a case of like people are just going to be like, well, what the fuck? Like, you should have just stuck what you had in the first place.
It reminds me of that Mass Effect book, and then the fans pointed out everything that was wrong with it, and they changed it. So they must have made a justified argument about why the ending was shit.
I suppose so. There was a thing that was a group of people that were basically donating to that Child's Play charity.
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't understand that at all. We're going to give money to Child's Play so they'll change to this game.
It's emotional blackmail. That's what they're doing, you see, because it's a case of like
emotional blackmail. They're giving money to, albeit a pointless charity, in my opinion. Do you want me to rant briefly on Child's Play?
Sure, why not? Go ahead.
I get really annoyed.
You're going to hell anyway, so you might as well secure yourself a decent seat.
At a charity which solely exists to give gaming consoles to people in properly equipped hospitals. Why don't you spend the money on helping those who don't have that luxury?
But part of the irony, right, is that like this can't be the case like in all situations, but from what I've seen whenever I've been watching a program on telly, like documentary stuff on telly, if you look at the state of an American hospital and the quality of the rooms and stuff they have there, and then look at the state of the ones...
Would an Xbox make it better?
Look at the ones in the UK. The ones in the UK are horrible. I mean, like my girlfriend does that.
Start going on about the NHS considering what's going on right now.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
Yeah, let's instead, I mean,
so
go to a kid who's got cancer and say, cheer up, we've got you a subscription to Xbox Live.
Have you considered? So to sort of summarise this second email, how will they explain the ending in terms of plot? Do you think they'll, you said retcon the ending or somehow work it into the first ending? I'm not
sure. Do you not know retcon?
Oh.
Retcon is a writing term.
Oh.
It's retroactive continuity.
Oh, right, so right, okay, got you.
It's when you change established facts. In other words, so in changing how it ends, that is technically retconning the ending. That's what that means.
Right, okay. That's fine. So
yeah, they will do that.
The last email that he sent in,
yes,
is basically about Resident Evil.
Raccoon City or in general?
In general, but sort of dancing around on Raccoon City. Saying that it turns out that Capcom is just downright admitting that they want Call of Duty's audience with a news article he's got here.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to bring this up, actually. Yeah,
with Operation Raccoon City and Resident Evil 6 not being survival horror-ish enough, seems fans of the classics will have to go a while before a proper Resident Evil game shows up, if one does at all. So, to the question.
I have the actual quote here, or do you want the question first?
Do you think they'll ever get back to the proper formula of scarce ammo and crappy controls?
No, never. Oh, actually, Revelations was kind of close. I didn't mind that.
I don't know whether or not people actually really want that. It's that case of people are saying, this is what we want. Well, you know what'll happen, right? You know those Kickstarter things that are going on where people are funding. We were supposed to mention this before. People that are going, I'm going to bring out a game. Give me your monies, and you'll get a free copy of the game at the end.
Yeah.
Use that money to develop the game.
I think Kickstarter programs are a really, really bad idea.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing with all the Kickstarter things. It's all like nostalgia's coming back. It's like I would really like to see a new Grim Fandango game. And then somebody that worked on it's like, right, I'll make a new Grim Fandango game. Give me all your monies. It comes out, it's shit. That's what's going to happen. Give it a couple of years when all these Kickstarters actually start producing the games that they've taken the money for.
Yeah. There will be people wanting a refund that will never come.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So on the subject of Resident Evil, I think they will stick with their action horror rather than survival horror, which is a shame. But at the same time, I like the co-op aspect of their survival action, whatever you want to call them, games.
I mean, they could be a sort of co-op version of the old sort of style, but it wouldn't really work because you would really need to find some way of gearing up the tension. When you've got somebody else there covering your back, the tension kind of dissipates a little bit.
It does, but
I mean, you go back to Resident Evil 1, maybe Resident Evil 2, more so the first one. Sit in a dark room on your own playing that. The tension and the atmosphere is a lot better than sitting there with the crowd.
I think 4 was actually quite a good. It wasn't quite right, the mix between horror, and they changed it up and be a bit more actiony. But it was okay. It was almost there, and because it was single player, it still had that kind of aspect. I mean, when you're being chased by like a chainsaw guy and tons of villagers,
there were some nice things that they added into that.
That's part of the reason why Alan Wake is so good as well. The intimidation of being alone is part of the horror setting. Charm. That's true. So, is that it for every email he had?
Pretty much. The only other thing that he points out is that we still need to get a TF2 night on the go. So what I've decided is I'm going to use this as an opportunity to say next Thursday, let's call it. Shall we say Thursday?
Sure, why not? Thursday night GMT.
Sure. So Thursday, 29th of March, I will put up basically a community event on the Steam group, which will go out to anybody that's already on the Steam group. Brain Go Hurty. It's easy to find. Yes. Team Fortress is free. Download it. We'll find a server. You'll get the time sent through on there. GMT, let's call it on Thursday. Let's say 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll see if we can get
for at least an hour, maybe slightly longer than that. We'll see how things go.
Yeah. Bring Skype if you can, because it's better than the Steam chat. But we may have to resort to.
Depending on, I'm sure this will fail miserably, but let's see.
We'll see what happens. So
we will.
So that's the plan.
Okay. The only thing I have left on my list now is all about what's been happening with Game.
I did wonder whether or not that was in your list.
It was. Was it in yours?
No.
No, because last time I did say that I thought it was going the way of the dodo, and I didn't realise
just how
quickly it would be happening, and it has gone into administration now.
Yep.
And for Americans listening, they have a slightly different word for it. I can't remember what it is. It's when a court official gets assigned to the company because their assets get frozen. They try and save the company, although what is more often the case is they then start liquidating the assets to try and make back the lenders as much money as possible.
Yep.
And when they're into administration, that's pretty much it. And their stock value got frozen at 2.39 pence on Tuesday, and it's fallen from 62 pence a share last year. So that just shows you. And they were quoted as blaming Steam and Amazon, that kind of thing, for basically crippling them. And I agree, although it's not just their fault.
And play and things like that as well, yeah.
Because for many years now, I have almost exclusively bought my games from Game. But they did do some stupid businessy things, like sticking a £5 premium on everything they sell in store, meaning I'm always going to buy from the website because they're cheaper.
That's true. There. I mean, like, I'm the same. I pretty much exclusively buy from. I mean, there's been occasions where, like, if I've pre-ordered something, it might have come from Play, or the odd occasion where it might come from Zavvi or something like that, depending on a particular bargain. But generally speaking, when I'm buying a hard copy of a game, like in store, it would be Game that I would go to. But as of late, obviously, it's been impossible. So, for example, I went into the supermarket to pick up my copy of Raccoon City.
That's another thing that helped kill it, because the game makers were refusing to do business with them. They didn't stock
Mass
most
Effect.
of Ubisoft's games. They didn't stock Mass Effect. They didn't stock Kid Icarus. They didn't stock Raccoon City, because I'm guessing because the distributors and the publishers want more money per unit, and they just couldn't come up to that number.
No.
So that's another thing they blamed. And also, they overexpanded a bit as well, because they own GameStation too.
So does that mean that GameStation is also disappearing from the high street then?
Yeah, that'll be gone too.
That's kind of interesting, because the city just here, those are the only two real places that you could go to.
Well, other than, say, HMV.
There's HMV, but it's a very small sort of stock list in HMV for anything, really.
We're being forced online. I'm sure that's part of their plan.
But the good thing, I suppose, is that supermarkets are increasing their sort of supplies of these things. I mean,
yeah, and they can compete with online prices, so that's
they don't really necessarily need to care, because they, like we discussed this before. I can't remember if it was on the podcast or not, but with like Modern Warfare, they severely undercut the prices.
They were all competing with each other
because they just decided, right, we'll just charge it was like £25 or something like that for it, £20, because it was a case of just get people in to buy that and they'll buy other bits and pieces. They're basically selling it for whatever they must have paid for the units. I don't know, but it's business is business.
Yeah, business is business. Game has 600 stores in the UK, so let's say an average of 5 folk per store. That's 3,000 unemployed.
That's quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Still, Steam's got a sale on.
Hooray!
Wow. Like you probably saw, I was getting annoyed on Twitter earlier because of all these articles popping up about, Sam's sad to see Game go. If you didn't buy from them, if you'd been buying from Steam, you are the reason it died, so you don't get to cry about it disappearing. I've been loyal to them for years, so I can be annoyed that they're closing.
Yeah, I think I could probably safely say that I've been quite a lot. I've dumped a lot of money in there. I mean, this time last year, I believe it was, when my bonus came around, and I went in.
Just
and I
went on a splurge.
Yeah, well, I went in and I replaced my Xbox, and I bought. Was it this time last year? No, it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I replaced the Xbox, the PSP, the DS, and a whole bunch of games and stuff, and I just dumped it all in there in a oneer. And that doesn't.
If anyone is looking for a good deal, there'll be fire sales in any stores, and I would think they'll be selling stuff off for anything they can get, really. So there you go. And on that depressing note, shall we wrap up now?
I just got two minor little things to squeeze in just before the end. Then I've sort of trailer for Little Big Planet karting, and it actually looks quite good. Because it looks like it's taken all the things that were good about Mario Kart 64 and its predecessors. Nothing since then, but
is it on?
It'll be on the PlayStation, Little Big Planet.
Well, it could have been on PSV for all
graphics wise. It probably looks like it's on the PlayStation.
Well, the Vita isn't that far off from the PS3 for the record.
True. Somebody tried to flog one of them in game just the other day, actually, when I was mooching around.
What do you mean flog? Oh, like sell it back?
No, they were trying to get me to buy a Vita. Because I was showing signs of interest. That's
another reason I don't like shopping in stores, because of they're forced to talk to you. I really hate that.
Well, remember the discussions when I went to buy Skyrim in a previous podcast?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that looks quite interesting. It might be something that I would be interested about picking up. I don't know what your opinion on that is. I mean, I'm not a big racer fan, but Mario Kart has always been one of the ones that I have liked, and this looks like it plays pretty much the same.
If it's like that, then it's worth keeping an eye on, because I do like Mario Kart as well. I like the one on the 3DS.
So yeah,
I hope the last point is something cheerful.
There's a sort of craze of bringing out like apps and things on the iPad in particular that are geared towards cats. It must have been somewhere along the line somebody must have found an app that their cat reacted to. And then, all these videos sprung up on YouTube and stuff of cats playing on the iPad and scratching the shit out of the screen or whatever. But now, I'm not sure who it is. It's a company that manufactures cat food. I think it's like Whiskers.
Right.
I'm not sure. I've actually made a line of apps that are directed at cats. They're directly designed to make cats react to them, so that they fully see and react.
Does the cat play the game?
Well, in these ones, there's ones where things pop up on the screen and then they touch them, they disappear, and then two pop up elsewhere and stuff.
Right.
But there's one that's being developed where it's air hockey, and it's designed for you to play against your cat. You sort of knock the thing and the cat hits it and knocks it back.
Is there a video of this working?
I tried to find a video and didn't see it, but it just sounds brilliant. It's sick of tired of playing on Xbox Live with kids. Here, play with your cat instead.
Oh, but how embarrassing would it be if you lost?
The cat's totally trash.
The cat would be teabagging you, shouting insults.
Oh god! But that was genius. I mean, there's.
But in a red screen, I don't understand.
The closest I've ever come to that is using the reflection from my phone to put a light on the wall and watch the cats try and climb up the side of the wall. It's quite good fun.
making fun of stupidity.
Yeah, well, who's the stupid one? The one that's climbing up the wall, or the one that spends hundreds of pounds on food and catnip and cleans their shit and stuff. So there you go.
Sure. So on the subject of shit, if you want to watch our YouTube channels, search for Flick FFXI. Oh, did I say one too many Fs there? FF. No, I didn't. It's fine. And also Blighty Warrior, or you can just type in Brain Go Hurty and it'll find us both.
Yeah.
braingohurty.podbean.com.
Well done.
Very much. You're talking in a condescending tone like that Mass Effect Doctor. BioWare Doctor, I mean. And braingohurty@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send us emails, or else we'll have to have another 3 from Noodles.
Exactly, and he won't like that at all.
No. And we'll have to hear more of his bear puns.
The very, very last one ends with him saying, I hope Flick has forgiven me for all the bear puns. Most of them were rather grisly.
Oh. Can we go now?
Yeah, let's go play Resident Evil.
Okay.